Hey Corner Cuties.
Hey guys.
If you're new, I'm Jamie.
I'm Ree.
We are here because we are about to get into this chicken gnocchi soup, you guys. It is a cold, windy day here, and of course somebody texts me talking about, ooh, you should make the soup tonight. So we are going to get together. We're going to get all these fresh ingredients and get this soup going and give you guys a step-by-step on how we put it together. All right, let's get started.
Okay guys, so let's get the chicken started. I'm going to start by lightly seasoning. You don't want to season it too much, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. With some Farmer Brothers garlic pepper. A little bit of Lawry's. And a little bit of pepper. And a little bit of granulated garlic. Of course, they would be outside revving up right now while I'm trying to do some production type ish, but whatever. Okay, I can season the other side in the pan. Let me grab a spatula or some tongs. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add olive oil in the pan. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay. I'll let that heat up for a few seconds. Isn't this inspired by Olive Garden? Yes?
It is. It's
okay.
Inspired the Olive Garden chicken gnocchi soup. It's the funniest thing because I've never tried it. And then I finally did. And at first I thought it was kind of weird. But it was like, you go to Olive Garden, it's all you can eat. So I kept getting it every time I'd go. I get the zuppa toscana. And then for a second bowl, I get the chicken gnocchi. And after a while, I was like, okay, this is really good. And, me being me, I had to figure out how to make it.
And then I didn't even know anything about it. And then she made it for me. And I was like, oh, snap. I like this, which is so weird, but I like it.
The little potato gnocchi.
Okay. And we're just giving this chicken like a light saute. You don't want to kill cooking it. You just want to... I want to say that's okay. Leave that for Puppy because that was my intention.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Save the puppy some chicken tenders.
So he got to watch out for feeding. All right. So... that's gonna saute. Are you sure? Because I can just do him one.
No, that's good.
Okay. So let me season the top. Same through seasoning lightly. I'm not gonna tell you how bomb this is. We ordered this off of Amazon, and as you can see,
well, no,
it's
actually,
about time.
We first got it when the pandemic first hit. We were driving around one day, and we went to the Costco. Yeah, we went to Costco, and the Farmer Brothers truck was in the parking lot with a little table set up, for some stuff. And I was like, okay, Farmer Brothers, we used to get their coffee service where at my old office. So I went over to see what all they had. And I'm thinking, okay, coffee. You know, I might get a good deal on some coffee or something. They had all the spices. They had pancake mix and biscuit mix, I guess. You know, I just knew them for just doing coffee. But clearly they service restaurants and all types of stuff. So I'm like, okay, what is it? Garlic pepper rub.
Right.
We love garlic. We love pepper. It was $5 for that big old bottle. We fell in love with that stuff. We put it on everything. I got that. I got, there was a seafood seasoning, a steak seasoning, and what, the onion powder, which is in real powder form.
Right.
It's not granulated. And love them all. And then, of course, we ran out, and somebody whose name we won't name
went and ordered like 3 off Amazon.
And ordered a bunch of them.
So mind you, that was back in February, March-ish.
Right, when the pandemic first
And
hit.
that lasted all the way until right now. And
So-
now,
What, those 2?
no, I bought 3.
Okay.
So now it's time to re-up and buy another 3.
Okay, so it's been a year.
almost been a year, yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
wasn't bad at all.
So again, guys, I just want a light little cookation.
Yeah, because when you put the chicken in the
And
soup,
put it in the soup, it
gotta
also
simmer.
cooks.
So you don't
So
wanna
you
really
do not want to
overcook it.
overcook the chicken because, you know, I'm talking like this is my recipe, but you know how that goes.
She offers to cook the chicken, so I let her cook the chicken.
All right.
So while the chicken finishes browning,
Right.
what I will do is go ahead and get started on the chopping of the vegetables.
Right.
So that once the chicken is done and diced, we can go ahead and start getting everything sauteed and in the pot.
And then we'll come back and show you everything in that process. So
Okay.
be right back.
Be back, guys. All right, guys, so I got a rough chop on my vegetables, and, you know, I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's a weeknight. It's a work night. We're trying to go quick and easy. So I have my little Vidalia chop wizard. I've had this thing forever. Broke one, bought another one. Swear by this thing. So I
And
just,
by the way, there's the finished chicken.
yes.
Right there.
So he's nice,
Okay.
barely done, nice and juicy. We're waiting to be chopped to go in the soup. So this little gizmo, bam, onions, look at that, chop.
She said, look at that.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So I use him as my little quickie hack to just, you know, get everything done really fast. And it's nice because then everything's like, you know, uniform. So we'll get these chopped. No, I want to go this way because I want small chops. All right, and we can go ahead and chop the celery right into it because it's all going to mix together. And there.
All done.
All done. So everything's chopped. Nice little dice on it. So there we go. So we got our onions, our celery. We're going to get a big pot, get some olive oil in it, and start sauteing.
All right. We'll be right back.
All right, so we're going to start with a little swirl of olive oil. Just a couple of tablespoons, just enough to, you know, get the vegetables soft. And let that, you know, warm up a little.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a lot. And then we'll just get all that onion and celery in there. And it kind of looks like a lot, but again, someone whose name I won't name insists on making at least a batch and a half, if not a double batch of the soup.
That would be me.
Because, you know,
It's cold. I like leftovers. I want to eat a bowl tomorrow.
so we'll let that start to sweat a little bit until the onions start to get a little translucent. And then we'll add our garlic a little later because we don't want it to start to brown while we're waiting for the onions and the celery to brown.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys, so we're back. We're about to add the carrots Get those in there. And the garlic. And let that do a little saute. It smells so good. Those onions and garlic with that celery. You know, it makes me think about dressing. You know, I love me some chicken and dressing. So the onions and celery saute always makes me think about cooking dressing. Or my mom cooking dressing. Alright, so we just get that in there and let it sit for a minute and get going.
Just in case you can't see it, there's all that there.
So good. Alright, so just get a little light saute on that. And then next, we would go with our chicken broth. So because I'm making a double batch, usually it's 4 cups of chicken broth. But because I'm doing a double batch, it would be 8 cups of chicken broth, which is a lot, but it makes a really good hearty bowl. Actually, are we going to do a double batch or a batch and a half?
It's up to you. Just depends on how much leftovers
We'll do a double
want.
batch because I did all the onions and stuff already. So a double batch.
Yay.
So yeah, 8 cups. So this is the first 2. I actually had some chicken broth already in the carton. So that's the first 2 cups. And now I got to get another 6 cups in here. And I love this Herbox chicken bouillon. So what I'll do is I'll add 6 cups of water and then add the chicken bouillon to make it into broth. The equivalent of the amount I need. And then we'll get the chicken chopped up and we'll get that in the pot and show you guys how that all looks and comes together before we do the simmer to get the gnocchi and the cream in there. So we'll be back.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and chop the chicken.
And it can just be a rough chop.
Yeah. I usually use my scissors, but I know I'm reckless with the knife. That's why I usually use the scissors.
That chicken is just so moist
And juicy. That's why you do not overcook it, because it's still going to do some more cooking in the soup when the soup is simmering. And this came in clutch now that you really can't, you know, go sit down and enjoy Olive Garden.
Right, because if you've had it there, I'm telling you, this is
at home
very,
is way
very
better.
At home, close second to it. All right, guys, so we got everything in there. I added the bouillon to get my broth together. And now it's coming up to a boil. So what we'll do now is go ahead and get the chicken that we have all nice and chopped up. And this was what, about 7 tenders we used? So that's about 7 tenders. Ooh, chicken for puppy. Because trust me, he'll find it. So be careful when you add the chicken. You don't splash. So we'll get the chicken in.
Marley.
And of course, Mr. will go and find his piece of chicken.
Good boy. Good boy.
And he's like, where's more? Where's more? All right, so the chicken is in. So then it next will be 2 teaspoons of thyme that I'm gonna add. And I buy the little, you know, the little fresh herb pack. I like that one. So you can use dried. I've done it with dried. I've done it with fresh. I have the worst time getting thyme off the stem, so I'll try it, but if it doesn't work for you, or if you have a method, let me know what it is. You can also just drop it in, and as it cooks, it comes off the stem, and then you just fish the stems out at the end. But it's 2 teaspoons of thyme. So a couple of sprigs. Yeah, I have the worst thyme. And the thyme is like, it makes so much of a difference. I swear, I don't think I use it in anything else but this. But it does have a really unique taste, and it just comes through really good in this soup. Alright, so we're just going to get that in there. And I'm going to fish those sprigs out at the end. So that's the only thing with the doing fresh is if you can either take the time beforehand and strip it. But there that is. So you get that in there. It's going to come to a boil. Just give it a little stir. And now it's time to add some gnocchi. I think Cookie thought when I tapped the smoke on the side of the pot, he thought it was somebody at the door. Oh, I saw the way he looked. So these are the gnocchi that I use. There's a bunch of different brands. I've used a bunch of different ones. To me, they're all pretty much the same. I mean, I'm sure you could probably buy fresh someplace and they'll be amazing. But as far as the package go, they're on the pasta aisle. And there you go, you little potato gnocchi. They're so yummy. So we're going to get these in here without splashing. And they're kind of dense, so be careful when you put them in that you don't get too much of a splash. And these are 17.5 ounce packs. So I'll get both of those in there. All right, there we go. And just give it a gentle stir. And they'll kind of break apart once they get in there and get in the broth. And so I had already come up to a boil, so that brought it down a little bit. So you should still be on medium heat. And just get those in there and stir them a little bit. They'll start to break apart. And when it comes up to a boil, you're going to simmer for 10 minutes at a medium to low. And then after that, we'll come back and add our cream or half and half, whichever you're using. And pretty much, I think that is just about it. At that point, once that's in, we'll add the spinach at the end to wilt. And get those Cheddar Bay biscuits on. And it'll be time to eat. So, I'm going to let this come up to a boil and then get in my 10-minute simmer. And in the meantime, Rio get the biscuits going. We'll be back.
Okay guys, so I'm going to prepare the Cheddar Bay biscuits. We have a 3/4 cup of cold water, the Cheddar Bay mix, the medium cheddar. You can use sharp if you got it. We have medium, that's what we're going to use. And here is the packet for the
garlic herb blend
topping. So that's for later. So we'll do this part right now. If I can get it out. Okay. 3/4 cup of the cold water. Mix. Don't want to overmix too much. Okay. Spatula just to kind of, you see that, to get everything off the bowl. You don't want to miss no goodness, child. All right. So now we use a half a cup of the cheese. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of put a little bit extra, but not a lot. Just a little bit, about that much. And this time I'm going to fold instead of stir. Okay, that's really it.
But those biscuits are another one. You know, you get them at Red Lobster, but when you make them at home,
They're just fresh, and it's like, okay, shit, if you can't go there, then what's the next best thing, you know? All right. And somebody laughs at me because I measure the biscuits. So I'm going to get my 1/4 cup. And yes, I'm going to measure them out.
I mean, I guess if you want to be all accurate.
I do.
You want to be all accurate.
All right, I just take my measuring cup and just kind of form it out. I actually spray it a little bit with cooking spray just so that they come out, you know, easily.
Those little biscuits are delicious. So this is perfect because while your soup is going to get simmer, your biscuits
Get your biscuits going. I forget how many they make.
I think it's 8.
Then I messed up somewhere.
Or does it say 6 to 8? Or is it?
I think it's like 6 to 8.
Actually, it says 8 to 10.
Huh.
So you just made nice hefty ones.
Okay, I'm gonna fix it. So I guess measure smaller, guys. Measure smaller.
See, she used a measuring cup and it still wasn't right. See?
You know
See?
what?
Look at that. Look.
I'm gonna fix it.
Look,
Don't
one
do that.
little one, one big one. What she use a measuring cup for? Just asking.
God.
Just asking.
Oh my God!
What?
Because now you still got to separate them and pinch off this one to work on that one.
Right.
But you know, that's all part of
Okay.
cooking. That's all part
So
of cooking.
now I'm gonna put all that away, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix this, and I'll come back when it looks a little bit better, and we'll go and add the last ingredients to the soup.
Okay, so she got the Cheddar Bay biscuits all nice and proportional now. Like I said, I don't know why she used a measuring cup anyway. But they're all ready to go in the oven, 14 to 16 minutes. And then we'll brush them with the, what they call it, garlic butter? What? Garlic butter something when they come out. Alright guys, so for the soup, now we're going to add 4 cups of half and half. So remember, we're doing a double batch. So get that in there. And if you don't have half and half, you can always use heavy cream and regular milk. And I've never made it with just regular milk. I think it wouldn't be as rich. But, you know, in a pinch, it might just work.
Non-dairy or something.
Right. I really don't know how it would work with a, you know, like a a nut milk or something like that. There that is. So there, you see how big this pot is. They just, I think it's too much, but they insist on having it. So we'll get the heavy cream or the half and half in there and bring the heat up a little bit and let that mix. And once it gets warm and comes to a low boil, we'll go ahead and get the spinach in. Let it wilt for a couple of minutes, and then it will be time to eat. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys, so the soup has been simmering. We're about to add some spinach. You see those Cheddar Bay biscuits back there just coming out of the oven. All nice and golden. So this meal is just about done.
Hand me the
all right.
brush.
So let's get the brush going. So while she brushes those with the garlic butter sauce, I'm going to get the spinach in the soup. So it's really up to you how much you add. It's really all about preference. So I usually do a couple of handfuls. And then, you know, when you have your leftovers, if you feel like you want more, you can always add more. So you just get that in there and push it down so it can start to wilt and all that creamy goodness. And you can do salt and pepper to taste. I tasted it, I think, salt-wise because of the chicken broth. And with that bouillon, I don't really think it needs any more salt. But I will hit it with a little bit of crushed fresh black pepper.
And just a pro tip, I use Kerrygold butter instead of regular butter just to give it a over-the-top kick. Trust me. You'll thank me later. Kerrygold.
That's some good butter right there, guys. I think, what is it, Irish butter?
Irish butter.
Irish butter. I love the Kerrygold, and there's one called Dairy Gold. I love that one too.
And we don't like cook with it a lot. It's just for special things.
Right. Because it makes a good grilled cheese.
And pancakes. All right.
All right. So we got the soup, the spinach and the soup, and he's wilting nicely. And it pretty much is done at this point. You know, the spinach wilts kind of fast. You don't want to like full-blown cook it because you want it to still have a little bit of, you know, integrity to it. But look at that. All right, so we are about to get some bowls and get this dinner going. Okay. All right, guys, so there it is there, the chicken gnocchi soup with the Cheddar Bay biscuits. All that's left now is to sprinkle him with a little 6-cheese Italian blend or some Parmesan, whatever you're into.
Or the grated Parmesan.
And go to town. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope you try it. Let me know if you do and if you enjoy it. And now it's time to go eat. Thanks for coming around the corner. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.